We're so excited to talk to you this time about biohacking, bioharmonizing, bioenergizing, and people need to know the difference between true chronological aging and hacking this thing called biological age. What's the difference?
I like how you put that. So, a good way to understand this is simply this. We tell our chronological age with our birthday, which is driven by a calendar and the time, the watch, but that is not true aging. This might blow people's minds, but it's different. Aging is really matters by the a way we can measure our biological aging process, which is different. So biological aging, therefore, is how our body is aging as opposed to chronological aging, which is how the calendar tells us we're old.
Well, and we know that there are at least four things that we have complete control over. That's nutrition. What's at the end of your fork? That's the biggest, most highly contributing factor to your long-term health. It's 85% of long-term outcome. Then there's that thing called sleep. We've got to get enough sleep so that our system is not overly exhausted and burning the candle at both ends. We've got to exercise. We know that sitting is the new smoking, and if we don't exercise and don't move, boy, that sets the system up for this thing called toxicity or toxic milieu, if you want. And then last but not least is stress management. If we live a life stressed out, that's a good way to decrease that biological age.
Well, it is, and a lot of people we don't think
Actually, it's
about.
going to increase biological
It's going to
age.
increase biological age. There's a lot of people. I use the 20-year high school reunion story. And for those of you who are like, hey, wait a minute, I remember going to that. Okay, you had this thing happen. You had this idea, this epiphany moment. You looked at your partner, your wife or husband, and said, my gosh, they look old. You
What
freaked out.
happened?
What happened to them? And you probably made the comment, they must have had a hard life. But then you looked at the same group of people and you saw a few that said, that you observed, you said, hey, they look really good. They haven't changed a bit. They look the same age mostly as they did back when they were a senior in high school. That's the biological aging process, and it's different. And yeah, some people have had some circumstances that make life harder. But the bottom line is we should begin to take charge of and make better decisions towards the four areas you talked about, sleep, stress management, movement, and exercise. That helps us a lot. And a lot of people are out there right now using various supplements and various little hacks, if you will, to sort of speed up or maybe prevent the aging process or perhaps slow it down.
Well, we have a few biohacks that we just really love. One of them is this thing called molecular hydrogen water. How does that work?
Okay, so everybody out there has heard the term free radicals. So free radicals could be looked at maybe like aging products, like you got the body ages, it's like going through life, moving around, breathing, sleeping, talking, exercising. In the process of creating energy to make all that happen, there is waste products. Think about a refinery that's going to have waste products. So free radicals then are built up waste products, and the body has the ability to sort of handle them, clean them up, if you will. But sometimes our body loses the ability and the free radicals can build up faster, and therefore they become cellular damaging molecules. Okay, so hydrogen being the smallest element on the periodic table. Number one, it's the smallest thing. It can be consumed by water. So we've got these little machines that we put hydrogen in water, and we drink the water, which carries the hydrogen. The hydrogen comes in and chops those free radicals in half that are excessive, turns them back into water, thereby minimizing the buildup and perhaps slowing down the biological aging process.
So that's cool. With hydrogen water specifically, molecular hydrogen, we can turn this free hydroxyl radical, which does absolutely no good for the system except cause oxidative stress or rusting.
Yep.
We can turn it into water, and the body is 65% water anyway. So that's a win. Where do people find this hydrogen machine?
Look, they can reach out to us, and obviously we have little portable machines. We have
I
access to
love that.
big
It goes with
machines.
us. We travel with it.
We do. And, that's just one thing we do to biohack the system. And, there's many other things we do. A lot of times people want to be able to inject things. We inject things like NAD, nicotinamide, adenine dinucleotide. That's a cool term, right? Can't memorize
Which
that.
is in the electron transport change of the
Yeah.
mitochondria,
That's right.
which make energy for you.
So we're trying to figure out different ways to do that. And there are tests that people can do as well. in our clinic
Ding,
that
ding,
sort
ding,
of
ding, ding.
measure this process. They're known as true age, except it doesn't have the E, TRUAGE, and then we've got glycan age, GLYCAN age. Both of those are kind of different metrics of age clocks that we can do, and they're pretty accurate. It shows kind of how your system is aging, the pace, the actuality. It gives you a chronological, age, and then it sort of gives you a biological age estimate as well. How well your system's aging, and perhaps, how well your immune system's performing. So your immune age, for example, is in the 20s. Go figure.
It is in the 20s. And people can also run their genetics. I find that one of the coolest tests that we have, because you see what those oxidative stress pathways actually, what we're born with. So somebody who's got oxidative stress stacked against them, that biohack hydrogen water is a good way to go. Plus then following it with the test. So the genes are the loaded gun, the environment pulls the trigger, and we can see how we're doing by testing.
Well, there's no question. And we just kind of take some action on that. I mean, the bottom line is we're not stuck in the idea of aging. In other words, age is just a number. I think of Caleb in the Bible. He's 85 and saying, I'm just as spry as I was 40 years ago. You can look that up. It's in the book of Joshua, by the way. But the bottom line is you don't have to age like the calendar says. You can age a little bit better than the calendar says, and that's called biological aging. And to get that to do the way you want it to go, biohacking is the way. And we're working on it every day. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, give us a call. Love to help you.
How do we find love even past the age of 65? We want to live and love well.
We can. You're never too old to learn to love.
I could use your assistance.
Okay,
Jesus. Huh? My name is Jesus.
Sure. Jesus.
Jesus is here today.
You looking for a job?
Yes, sir.
You and Mark have 45 days before the bank forecloses.
Not to worry. They do not call me by God Byron for nothing. The collection plate starts to be passed around. Mark reaches into the basket and shouts, "You and your family are the winner from the first church of the lotto." Kind of think of it like a high-stakes bingo night every Sunday.
Poopy diaper!
Poopy diaper!
This video of the diaper is going viral right before our eyes.
This is a miracle.
What is?
Friends of Faith has over 300,000 followers.
Oh my dad! That's more followers than Moses had.
Jesus! Take the wheel!
Just say it.
No, take the wheel!
I got it, buddy.
And when you navigate through these economies with people, here's what happens. We want to hold their hand through it, let them know when it's time to buy, sell, reallocate, get out of Dodge. Because a lot of times when you're struck with fear does two things. Number one, it can paralyze, and people just put their head in the sand and say, I'm just going to forget about it and hopefully it gets better. Or it causes you to make a wrong decision. And this is why we are here, is to help people navigate through the political quagmire nonsense that's going on, the economic malaise, and the absolute collapse that we're seeing. And when our freedoms are eroding, our political freedoms, our economic freedoms, our personal freedoms, our religious freedoms, our health freedoms, they're all tied together. But you know what doesn't need to erode with that? Our finances.
KirkElliottPhD.com/Sherwood.
Let's shine the spotlight on one of our star supplements.
The human body can make most of the types of fats it needs from other fats or raw materials, but not omega-3 fatty acids, also called omega-3 fats or N3 fats.
These are essential fats that the body must get from food.
BioOmega 1000 provides a potent dose of omega-3 essential fatty acids sourced from a strategically placed fishing facility in the far South Pacific Ocean off the coast of Chile.
Each capsule delivers an impressive 1,000 milligrams of EPA and DHA, and the capsules also contain vitamin E. See the link below for a special offer, and remember, don't be fooled by cheap online knockoffs.